Come on, Marshall. Come on. Where are they? All right, I'm going to look at one card. We're going to look at one card. Here we go. Card number 1 on the second last day of card reveals is an 8-mana bird for Targon. Herald of Celestial Convergence. 8 mana 5/8. Play activate other allies' Daybreak and Nightfall effects. Daybreak, grab me Overwhelm. Nightfall, grab me Spell Shield. Oh my god, that is a real freaking game finisher. Wait. Activate other allies' Daybreak and Nightfall effect. Okay, hold on. Does that mean that if you have a Leona on the field with a couple of Daybreak units, you play this bird, and then suddenly you get like 5 stuns? Stun 2? Doesn't it stun everything? Oh my god. Is that actually like 1,000,000 stuns? I think this card is pretty good, but it is 8 mana. This could give you like a real reason to start ramping a little bit more in Targon Freljord though. And I don't think that's a coincidence that we're getting more cards from Freljord today. I think this card is quite good, but it's really like, okay, so the 8 mana card that we had in this package before was the Eclipse Dragon, right? So it had like kind of a small like payoff for playing Leona plus Aurelion Soul, but it was never good enough. Now you have like a real reason and a real good finisher in those type of Daybreak decks. I quite like this. I think this is a pretty good card. This second part is like, it's kind of awkward, I feel. Like Daybreak, grab me Overwhelm, that's a 5/8 Overwhelm. And Nightfall, grab me Spell Shield, that's a 5/8 Spell Shield. Like a 5/8 Overwhelm doesn't really win you the game most of the time, I think. I can't really see it. And Nightfall, grab me Spell Shield, like what does an 8 mana 5/8 Spell Shield do, right? It gets really spicy if you have Ravoon though. Like if you have Ravoon, you get both Overwhelm and Spell Shield. Yeah, I guess you could see this as like a bonus. It's all about this play effect. But the most interesting part, in my opinion, is that if you have either Leona on board or the Sun Guardian, the 2/3 that gets +1/+1 every time you activate Daybreak, that thing will just become like a 10/10 or 10/11 or whatever when you play this. And with Leona on board, I'm assuming you get multiple stuns because you're activating Daybreak multiple times. This is a pretty great card. This is a good card. It is. I think this is good. I would play this. I would start experimenting with Leona decks more because of this card. I think there is some real payoff, and finishers are good in Targon. Like, Targon can usually stall the game long enough to get to your finishers. Okay, next card. I can't wait any longer. I can't milk this one anymore. It's a cool card, okay? Beautiful art. Love it. 7 mana, 8/6 from Freljord. Rhond, the Magma Serpent. Play summon 3 Sigils of the Storm. Sigil of the Storm. 1 mana landmark. Sigils of the Storm stack. Titanic allies cost 1 less. Destroy me when you play a Titanic ally. What is a Titanic ally? What the hell is a Titanic ally? Are we Hearthstone now? Okay, Sigil of the Storm stack. So when Rhond says summon 3 Sigil of the Storm, you get like 1 landmark, and it's ×3. It's like a barrel. I have the Titanic vocab ready, but I am not allowed to share until Riot does. Hey, Marshall, you can whisper it in my ear, man. Actually, my dad works at Riot. You could tell me, Marshall. Trust me. All right? What could go wrong? You could lose your job, but I'm not going to lose mine. I think I'd make like a bunch of people really happy here in the chat. Okay. All right. Yeah, so I don't really know what to think about this. Like, okay, discounts are good. Discounts are good, Chad. Titanic allies? Titanic? That makes it sound big. Makes it sound like Titanic allies are probably pretty expensive. Yeah, maybe Titanic means 8+ cost allies. Something like that, right? Making them cheaper is very good. That's pretty sick. So let's look at these. 6 mana, 5/3. Berserker Ursine. When you play a spell or skill, summon a Sigil of the Storm. When you play a spell or skill, wow. That is potentially insane. We have spell synergy cards in Freljord, like the Seer. I forgot the name. Is it like Starlit Seer? The 2 mana 2/3 that gives the top unit on your deck +1/+1 for every spell you play. It looks like there are some big expensive units in a deck like this though, right? It looks like there are some big expensive units, and you're not gonna really play like cheap spells to turbo this unit, and we still don't know what Titanic units really are. Yeah, and a 6 mana 5/3. I don't know. This seems like it wouldn't be that good. This might not be great. This is like ramp but different. And this is a 2 mana 2/3 when I'm summoned, summon a Sigil of the Storm. So this one is potentially like really good, right? This one is potentially pretty great. A 3 mana 2/3, and you're probably playing a late game deck. On turn 3, if you're playing Freljord, you really want to play your Wild Mysticism or your Winter's Touch. Alright, well, yeah, they already nuked it, dude. Oops. Hey, Brazil almost leaked Volibear, but they removed it. Nah, there's no way. Okay, so we still don't know what the hell a Titanic ally is. Somebody has it. Somebody 100% has it, okay? No, it is leaked, but I'm going to try not to look at leaks, okay? We want to see the video with it tomorrow. Alright, there's one more card here. 7 mana, slow, from Targon, Seismic Shard. So like Malphite's Q. If you behold a Titanic unit, I cost 3 less. Deal 7 to a unit. A 4 mana deal 7 at slow speed in Targon. Is that good? Is that good? Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good, actually. But I don't know what a Titanic unit is, man. What is that? It's very meh. In any other region, it would be meh. But Targon doesn't really have good cards that do this. Like, they have Sunburst. That's 5 mana.
Malphite gonna become Titanic Cobium.
Yeah, I mean, Malphite, like, when I think Malphite, I do kind of think that's a Titanic unit, man. That's a big boy. That's a large individual. Yeah, Malphite, Nautilus, for sure. Isn't Sunburst just more consistent and better? Yeah, but we don't know if that's the case for this deck, right? Silencing is pretty relevant, though. Yeah, Galio, Scion, yeah, there you go. But like, these cards are all 7 or more mana. Maybe Titanic units are 7 or more mana. Maybe that's their thing. If Titanic units are like, I cost 7 or more mana, then this is also a Titan. This is also a Titanic unit, right? So you could ramp into this, and then by summoning 3 Sigils of the Storm, you ramp to another one? Maybe it's something about stats. Maybe it's like, their combined stats are like 12 or more or something? That could also be it. A unit is Titanic if their stats are 12 or 10 or more or something. Oh, 16 seconds ago, Titanic units are units with 8+ power or health. Big. Galio, not a Titan. 8+ power or health. One of the two. That's big, actually. That is really, really good. That's actually kind of insane. I really like that too. Like, instead of having to behold something that costs 8 or more, it's just 8+ power or health, which is much, much, much more interesting for deck building. Oh, isn't Galio 8? Actually, I think you're right. Galio's 8 HP. Yeah, never mind. Galio is still Titanic, but Scion isn't, unless you discard enough stuff. Trinamir? Yeah. Okay. So, now we can rate these cards much better. So, Seismic Shard is a deal 7 to a unit if you behold something that has 8 or more health or attack. Is that better than Sunburst? I think this is a somewhat easy to achieve restriction. Like, if you're playing a deck that has big units, you will always have this active pretty much. I think for 4 mana, this is just fine, man. I think this might actually just be better than this might be better than Sunburst in the deck. Like, Sunburst being 5 and this being 4, I think it's a big difference. Also dealing 7. Good enough in Targon, yeah. They're really pushing Freljord, Targon ramp. Yeah, I think I kind of like it. Freljord and Targon ramp was always like an archetype that should make a lot of sense, but it never really did because it was so lacking. You didn't really have anything you really wanted to ramp into to win the game. So it's still going to fully depend on what Volibear does, and if Volibear gives you like a reason to ramp into him. But yeah, honestly, I'm gonna assume that Volibear is pretty expensive. I can't see, and I'm not going to spoil it for myself, but I'm still hoping that Volibear is 9 mana. And the reason for that is that previously in Freljord, you would ramp to turn 9 and then cast Field Rush. So like turn 9 was your payoff, right? On turn 9, you would have 9 normal mana and 3 spell mana, and that's 12 mana for Field Rush. So that was like the point where Freljord started winning after ramping a bunch. And I would much prefer having a unit that's 9 mana. Volibear need ramp 100%. Yeah, I've always, like, since the beginning, everybody here just agreed like Volibear should be a ramp champion. Like it just makes sense. This is like the one archetype that Freljord still wants to support, but there is no payoff for it. So that's my wish. I hope that Volibear is 8, 9, or 10 mana, and that he has like a big, cool, powerful effect that will win you the game or something very close to it. I need some chonkers in this game to go with all that low curve, low to the ground Nila Jana card draw, okay? As fun as that is, we need like a big bat to go on top of that. Okay, so we know that Herald of Celestial Convergence is a Titanic unit. Interesting. Are we going to have Acel at 1? Yeah, if we stack the Sigil of the Storm, we're just going to have a 1-mana Acel. Finally. If Acel was a 1-mana 1-1, would it be broken? Yes. If Acel is a 1-mana 10-10, would it be broken? Also yes. Even more so. Okay, so from what we've seen from the Titanic units and from the synergy that we're seeing in today's reveals, I can't really tell you if this is good or not in a supposedly Volibear deck. I have no idea. Is this good in a Leona deck? I think it is as an actual win con. Leona decks have never really had a win con, right? Leona was very good for a little while with Samira, and that was basically an aggro deck. It was just like, I go wide, I have bigger stats to you, and then I'm gonna win by just like stunning your board, having Ravoon, or just chip damage, whatever. This wants to actually play Leona and play for her win con with Ravoon. So I think it's very good for that. I think this is actually like the game finishers they've been waiting for. This is this is potentially like crazy good. Maybe this is like the Leona Diana deck that we've been waiting for. Yeah, that could also be it. That deck can also play for value. Like if you have the Solari Priestess and a Lunari Priestess, you just get 2 Celestials in your hand. Quite good, quite good. I like this card a lot. I don't see it being played in this archetype with the Titanic units, but for Leona, it's good. And then we have Rhond. Rhond is also Titanic because of the 8 attack. So Rhond will summon 3 Sigils of the Storm, which is like a kind of a weird effect because it doesn't really help you win necessarily. But what it does do is you could potentially like ramp into Rhond. Like let's say on turn 6, you have 1 Sigil of the Storm. You play Rhond for 6 mana because of that Sigil of the Storm, and then Rhond summons 3 more. So on turn 7, that means you can play a 10-mana unit. So it's like it's like this really off-tempo like ramp kind of almost. It's not like here have some mana crystals. No, it's like you one time get to do something powerful. It's like it's almost like coins, but this time you do actually get to cheat mana. So on turn 6, you could play this, and then on turn 7 you get to play a 10-drop because of it. So yesterday we saw very good landmark removal. Yesterday we saw very good landmark removal in those flexible units that give you 1 of 4 cards to remove equipment, to remove a landmark, to heal 2, or to disable keywords. There is now a very good way to remove those Sigil of the Storms, and it says they stack. So it's just 1 landmark that could potentially have a mana discount of 3 or something as 1 stack on one of those units. But the difference between Barrels and Sigil of the Storm is that Barrels, if your opponent tries to remove it, you can try to explode them. Maybe like a warning shot, right? At burst speed, your opponent can't always interact with Barrels because you get to react to them. But with the Sigil of the Storm, it's a landmark. If your opponent tries to remove it, you can't just like say, I'm quickly gonna summon this unit because your landmark is gone and you don't get to play a unit while your opponent casting a spell. So there is a lot more counterplay in that sense. You can't just let them sit around and then have your units removed or your landmark removed so you can't ramp. It's really interesting how this is going to work out. There's a lot of counterplay, but so far, like, this looks pretty strong. Cheating units is powerful. Also, this is not a Titanic unit, so I think this one is trash. This one, you need to play it on 6, and then you need to play skills or spells to get those Sigil of the Storms. That seems too inefficient. That seems way too awkward. Yeah, apparently Sigil and Offering are the same. I don't know what the confirmed name is. Yeah, this is Titanic. Units with 8+ attack or health are Titanic. Malphite with the Seismic Shard. Okay, so I don't think this one is very good. The rest looks good, but it's fully going to depend on how the deck actually plays out. Valhir's Prophet is the 3-mana 2/3 that summons one of these landmarks, so this gives you a mana discount of 1 on a Titanic unit. This one also seems playable. This one seems like it would just be good enough. Because the way you could see this is you're paying 3 for this, but because you're like ramping into a unit, you still get that mana discount of 1. So this is a 2-mana unit, kind of. This seems good. I like this. What I'm worried about is that at the end of the day, people are just going to play this as like a ramp deck for She Who Wanders. And She Who Wanders is such a lame card, man. I'm going to be so sad if it just ends up being that. The She Who Wanders, though, will absolutely demolish a Neela and Janet deck. It kills everything in that deck. It's gonna be rough, and I'm pretty sure people are going to play that card because it is just that good. She Who Wanders, funny though. What I don't like about She Who Wanders is that you kind of just like play it and then the game ends 9 out of 10 times. I don't know. I feel like I wish there was a little more going on with it. Anyway, these cards make tomorrow's reveal very, very interesting. I cannot wait to see what Volibear does. And I love the flavor of these cards. Like, the way they look. They look so badass, dude. Awesome. This is, like, one of the best thematics they could have added to the game. I'm excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the final day of releases. So the plan for tomorrow is at 6 p.m. Central European time. We are going to see Volibear on YouTube. Then at 7 p.m. Central European time, we're going to have early access. We're going to play some Neela, some Janna, and some Volibear. We're going to just figure out how good it is. Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central European time, the expansion releases on live. So I'll also be online to witness that on my own account and buy all the new skins. Patch as well. Patch notes are also at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And then on Thursday, I am streaming for 12 hours with sub goals. It's going to get ridiculous. I'm excited for it. Love the theme of this expansion so far. And the cards, they seem powerful. Which is important because the last expansion's power level was pretty damn low. Anything higher than that, we're going to have a good time full with actual new playable Runeterra cards. But we're going to have to wait until tomorrow.